My absolute favorite day in the ICU would be when you take care of a patient over an extended period of time and they would do better. And it would re-energize me to be like, that's why I'm a nurse. It wasn't until the summer, really, when we felt it. They started opening up the COVID floor first. Then it just felt like we were constantly adding more beds. The number of people that we lost versus saved is very difficult to articulate. And in order for us to feel it and maintain our mental health, felt like a constant struggle.
So I just spent 12 hours not crying. And now I need to find a way to go cry.
As a human being, it's really hard to keep that pace up to the numbers that we did. I'm a pretty strong person. I can do that. But it was every day. It was every day. I feel so guilty because I was good. I had to put it down. I had to put it down for my kids.
Joining us now from her home in Fredonia, Kentucky, please welcome Rachel Ellsworth. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, what a powerful video. Listen, I get it. You really laid it to bear for us to understand what you were experiencing at the time. You said something about compassion fatigue, that's what you were suffering from. What exactly is that, and how does that, is it just an exhaustion from caring? What is that for you?
Compassion fatigue is something that we have a tendency to say a lot, like in the nursing rooms. You know, we're like, oh, do you have compassion fatigue? But I think we don't explain all the time what compassion fatigue looks like at home. So compassion fatigue at the hospital might mean you're having a hard time keeping up with your patients, but what's actually happening is you're using up all your compassion on your patients. And so there's no reserve. And then you go home and you wonder why you're being so short with your kids, and you want to spend more time alone, and you are very short-tempered and having a very hard time handling the little things that come up in life. You break a dish, you break down.
So your tank is empty. So by the time you get home,
completely empty.
By
Yes,
the time you get
completely
home,
empty.
you don't have the energy to give them anything.
No, you don't have the energy, and you don't have that emotional reserve to pour into your family, right? And in my situation, I'm raising 3 kids who really needed me because they were experiencing their whole world changing too. And so when they needed more from me, I had less to give.
Wow. Now, you visited a friend's farm, and that was a big moment for you. Not only was it fresh air that you were breathing in, it tapped into something else. What happened?
So we visited my friend's farm in our RV and stayed there for an extended period of time. And there was something about not being accessible to the hospital. I knew that I wasn't going to have to go to work. I wasn't thinking about going to work. I wasn't preparing to go to work. And I all of a sudden had this space to breathe and to recharge and to put enough back into my battery that I was able to stay present. I would watch my kids play, and I would hear them get really loud because they were excited. And rather than going, oh my gosh, calm down, it was, oh my gosh, they're having so much fun. And it just took me back. It took me aback because those were the exact things that I was working for, like on a personal level. I wanted to be more patient. I wanted to be more present. And by simply giving myself the space to breathe, those things just changed in me. And I said, I want this. I said to my husband, this is what I want. This is what I need.
When you said, this is what I want, this is what I need, did you at the time know it meant leaving the job? Because you're not talking about, hey, let's go to the farm every weekend, or let's move a little bit further out in a rural area. For you, what you needed required you to leave a job you'd done for 12 years.
I think there was a time, originally we were looking for land that was fairly closer to our life where we were. And there was a time where I entertained just reducing my hours even more, which I had already taken that step to reduce my hours. But the more we got into the nitty gritty of what it was going to look like actually day to day, as well as what my family needed from me and what I needed to be happy and joyful in my own life so that I could be those things for them.
Wow.
And then it became increasingly more clear that I couldn't give away any more of myself and still retain enough for my family.